Hello friends. Today is October 3rd and I got to thinking about how to keep our families healthy during the cold and flu season. And typically the cold and flu season really starts to hit around October and will go clear through February. But some of you, if you have kids in public school, may have already been afflicted with some sort of an illness because with kids being in a confined space, the flu and nasties get spread around pretty easily. So I wanted to talk today about 5 ways that I keep my family healthy during this time of the year. Now I know there are a lot more than 5 ways, and if you have a different way than I suggest, please leave it in the comment section below because I'm always looking for new ways to keep us healthy. I hate it when my family is sick, just like I know you hate it when your family is sick. So the first way that I keep my family healthy is at the first sign of a sniffle or a sneeze or a cough, I make them take this. It's Emergen-C, and you take 1 packet daily. You can take it as a preventative, or you can take it at the first sign of a cold or the flu. And it's got 7 B vitamins, antioxidants, electrolytes, vitamin C, zinc, and manganese. And vitamin C and zinc are especially good for colds to help you get over them quicker. And our personal favorite in our family is the coconut pineapple. It tastes like a lovely, yummy, tropical drink. And all you do is add it to 4 to 6 ounces of cold water, stir it well, and then drink it. We usually go on the lower end, usually about 4 ounces of water, just simply because we like the flavor of it when it's a stronger flavor and not a watered down flavor. But if you're giving this to a young child, you can even dilute it even more. It's recommended for ages 14 and up, but I'm sure that you could give it to younger children just way more diluted. And as you can see, it gets nice and foamy and yummy. It's got a fizziness to it, kind of like a soft drink, and it, in this particular flavor, is very smooth and creamy. And I like mine extra cold, that's why there was an ice cube in the water that I added to this. And so you just drink it down. Delicious. The second thing that we do in our family to keep us healthy is we all take a probiotic. Now this is the type that my husband and my kids take, and I take a different kind. I don't have the packaging, but you've seen me buy them in my hauls before. These are the Pearl probiotics, and the reason I take these is because there's no dairy in them. As you know, I have a dairy allergy and I can't take anything that's even derived from dairy. So everybody should take a probiotic daily, and they should do this all year long, not just during the cold and flu months, because what it does is that in your gut it's made up of good bacteria and bad bacteria. When you have an abundance of good bacteria, if any bad bacteria get in there, either from a foodborne illness or from some sort of other yucky germ, the good bacteria can attack the bad bacteria and defeat it before you actually get sick. If you do not have enough of the good bacteria in your gut, then of course when a bad bacteria gets in there, it can overwhelm your system, and when it overwhelms your system, that is when you start having gastric distress symptoms. And I don't really need to explain what those are. I'm sure you know what those are. Also, it's very important that if you've been taking an antibiotic, to make sure and take a probiotic at the same time, because antibiotics kill all the bacteria in your body, the good ones and the bad ones. The third way that I keep my family healthy during the cold and flu season is to try to keep our environment as clean as possible. Now that is another thing that you need to do all the time, obviously. But in the cold and flu months, you need to be a little bit more careful about cleaning things that you wouldn't otherwise think about cleaning, like light switches, telephones, cell phones, computer, keyboards, any electronics that you're touching all the time. Because you never, especially your cell phone, you're out and about in the public, and then you're touching your screen, and then you're answering a phone call, and you're transferring all those germs from the shopping cart to the phone to your face. And so what you need to do is just wipe those things down periodically. Now, on your electronics, I would just be really careful with that, and maybe just use some rubbing alcohol on a damp cloth and wipe those things down. But things like light switches, countertops, bathroom counters, toilet bowls, the lever to flush your toilet, the tops of your soap dispensers, those are all things that you wouldn't really think about as harboring a lot of germs, but they do. And what I use, and I need to mention at this point that none of the products that I have mentioned so far are sponsoring this video at all. I just wanted to let you all know the things that I use. I'm not being paid to do this video. But what I use to disinfect my home is what's called Solu-Guard Botanical. Now this is a disinfectant that I get from the Melaleuca company, and I can put a link to their website in the description box below, but you need to know a distributor in order to order. You can't just go on their website and order. There might be a spot on the website where you can find a distributor near you, but anyway, I get mine from a friend of mine who sells it, who's a distributor, and this is natural. It's a natural disinfectant, and this is a concentrate, and you add it, you pour it in this bottle up to, where's the line? Oh, up to here. You put the concentrate up to there, and then you fill it the rest of the way with water. And this is effective, killing 99.9% of bacteria and viruses on hard, non-porous surfaces. And it contains the Melaleuca or the tea tree oil, and that's one of its main components, because tea tree oil is very antibacterial. And this smells like fresh thyme, the herb thyme, and it's really, really good. Now, it kills, okay, let me read on the back, E. coli and staph in 1 minute. So you spray it on your surfaces if you think you have that, possibly been exposed to it, and you leave it on the surface for 1 minute, then you wipe it with a cloth. It kills 99.9% of Enterobacter, which is what causes intestinal sickness, vomiting and diarrhea, in 30 seconds. It disinfects against salmonella, like if you're working with raw chicken when you're cooking. You can spray this on and you leave it for 10 minutes, which is a long time, but if you're using a cutting board or something that is like plastic or whatever, you can just spray this down and leave it set until it's time to wash dishes, and it will take care of it. You can use it all over the place. I've even poured it, you know how your drains get smelly? I've poured it straight down the drain at night after everyone has gone to bed, and leave it set overnight, and it gets rid of that yucky drain smell. But I found this has been very effective in helping to keep the family clean, and it smells good too. The fourth way that I keep my family healthy during the flu and cold season is I use essential oils. Now, if you know me at all, you know I love essential oils and I use them for a lot of different things. Now, there are two brand names of essential oils that are known for disinfecting the air and keeping your family healthy. And the first one is Thieves, which is by the Young Living Company, and On Guard, which is a doTERRA product. Now, I personally do not own either of those name brand products because they are very expensive. So I have gone with this from Eden's Gardens, and I also use the On Guard version from Bulk Apothecary. Now, both of them have the same essential oils in them that the name brands have, but they are a much cheaper version, and I have found them to be just as effective as the name brand. Now, there's nothing wrong with the name brand ones, and if I could afford them, I would probably buy them. But at this point in our life, we are trying to get out of debt, and so I am using the cheaper version. And I may not ever go to the more expensive version because I find them to be just as good. Now, the essential oils that actually make up the Thieves blend is clove, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Now, I ran out. This bottle is empty, and I didn't have any money to buy more, but I had those 5 single oils in my stash. So I just took an empty bottle from another essential oil that I had used up, and I made my own blend of clove, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. And so I use this in my diffuser, especially if someone in the family is just feeling a little bit off, or if we've been out and about all day and we come home, and I just put these in my diffuser, and I feel like they really do help. The fifth way that I keep my family healthy during the cold and flu season may seem a little bit strange, but I use onions. Now, if you were to ask most medical doctors, they would poo-poo this idea this notion. But it has been proven in a lot of other areas of society, in different like Mennonite communities, in the homeopathic community, that onions have the power to prevent sickness. Back in the 1800s, or the early 1900s I should say, is reported that people used onions, raw onions, to prevent the plague, and they did it successfully. You've heard of poultices, where they would put on your chest and on your feet. Onions was a big ingredient in poultices to fight off flus and fevers and bring down fevers and to help with coughs. And they even used onions as in a poultice to put on joints to help with inflammation and things like that. Now what I do with the onion is that if it's a medium to large size onion, I will peel it and cut it into 4 pieces. If it's a small onion, peel it and cut it in half. And then I got this, I think at the dollar store, I can't really remember, but it's to store tomatoes in the refrigerator once you've cut them. But that is not what I use it for. I open it up and I put the piece of onion, 1 piece of onion in each of these little things, and I've got 2 of these little tomatoes, and I put 1 in each of the bedrooms and 1 in our main entryway in our upstairs. And it is said that it will absorb bacteria and germs from the air. Now I have been doing this for one winter. I did it very religiously and no one got sick. Last year I wasn't as faithful in doing it, and I ended up getting a really bad cold, but nobody else in the family got sick. And in order for it to be effective, the onion needs to be peeled, and you need to replace it every 3 months. Sooner if you notice that it's completely dried up and shriveled up. But, so basically 1 onion can last you most of the winter. And why not use it? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, you're not doing anybody any harm. And if you're afraid your house is going to stink like onions, it doesn't. The first couple of hours after you freshly cut the onion, when you walk past it, yes, you notice an onion smell. But that's not even a bad smell. I like the smell of onions. But after a few hours, that smell dissipates and you don't notice it in your home at all. And so I would highly suggest that you give it a try. What's it going to hurt? So those are my 5 ways that I keep my family healthy during the cold and flu season. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I know there are many other things that you can do, just like common sense things like washing your hands and sneezing into your arm and coughing into your arm. But I would really love to hear some of the ways that you keep your family healthy during the cold and flu season. Leave it in the comments section below. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will talk to you later, friends. Bye!